Affordable for one is
Yes,
subjective.
exactly. True.
Okay, so
Totally.
it is completely subjective.
Hmm.
And what is affordable to one person is not affordable to another. And you will
Yeah.
never be quote unquote affordable to everyone.
Right.
But what you need to be is affordable to yourself, meaning you have to be able to afford the work that you're doing and be able to afford your life.
Welcome to the living room. Leave the over at the door. We'll talk it out till it's simple, till it's you again for sure. Like friendship, money, and the names you outgrow. We make space for the woman coming through. Living room wisdom, where your story is your glory.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Living Room Wisdom, where your story is your glory. Thank heavens for the Zoom rooms and the virtual world because I know some amazing fucking women. And thanks to Zoom, I am now getting to bring them to you on this podcast. And so today I'm so excited to bring you Erin Haag. Erin, I've known Erin now probably for about 3 or 4 years. We've met in a business network. We've connected on and off, mostly virtually, but we did get to spend some time together in Florida where she lives. And it was amazing. Like, I got a deeper insight into who she was. And I was like, okay, I kind of like this chick. Not only is she smart, but she's cool. And so, Erin is the creator of Pricing Overhaul. She's also the founder of Pricing Overhaul Academy, which may have shifted a little bit, right? I think, okay. And she's the best-selling author of Give Yourself a Raise, the mindset and math you need to get your first million. So she has also another leg of her business, or actually a whole other business, that is the luxury in business retreats. And we'll just go, it just goes on and on and on for there. But basically, what you need to know about this amazing woman is that she has 20 plus years in like metrics and economic type background and working for corporations and small businesses. She then pivoted and had what was it, a Pilates studio, right? So she's always been very numbers, very profit focused, very business focused. And now she's bringing all of these other wonderful creations in the world. So I just wanted to set the foundation as in regard to all of your accomplishments and kind of the background of where you came from. But we also want to hear it in your words. So who
Oh my
is
goodness.
Erin?
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. It's funny when I hear people describe like my background, I'm like, oh man, it's kind of all over the place, isn't it?
Yes
But
and no.
I guess, when you're multi-passionate and you have
Yeah.
different things going, I look back at my life and I look at everything that I've done and it's like I've lived like 9 different lives.
Yes.
So who am I? Okay. Well, I'm Erin. I am a full-blooded Capricorn. Like all my suns, moons, and stars are like Capricorn. I am a lover of travel, wine, and cheese. I am actually like a level 1 certified sommelier for fun, just as like an extracurricular activity.
Because you've
I'm
got
a
so much time.
yeah, exactly. I am a mom of 2 girls. I am a francophone. What else? I'm a math nerd. I think we already hit on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me.
I love it. I love it. And actually, that math nerd thing, you said that when I listen to my experience, it seems like it's all over the place, but it really isn't. And you telling us that you're like a triple, quadruple, whatever Capricorn explains it all. That explains it all. But because in every position, at least that I know about in my little research, it has always been related to numbers and metrics
Yeah.
and making money and making profit and building business, whether it was your business or someone else's. So, what I'd love for you to share then is how you pivoted, because I know there was an instance of like your work or your business making you sick, and that was
Yep.
kind of the catalyst to what you're doing
Yeah.
now. Tell that story.
Okay, so before we even get there, I've pivoted so many times. I grew up in theater. I was a musical theater kid. My parents are theater professionals. I went to
Mm.
college for musical theater. And when you say that math was always a through line, I was the one in musical theater who loved music theory. And why did I love music theory? Because music theory is all math. And so learning how to read sheet music, it's all mathematical, and being
Mhm.
able to like understand the tempos and the beats, that's all math. And I remember even in musical theater, my classmates were asking me to tutor them in music theory, and I turned it into like math equations for them. And so it's so funny that like I had no idea that I was going to
Mhm.
transition into somebody who does metrics and pricing and like trademarked a formula for it. But anyway, I digress. So, how did this all happen? I left musical theater. And I left musical theater because I wanted to make money.
Mhm.
And even though my parents were theater professionals and they were very successful, very well known, when I looked at like their financial success, it wasn't anything compared to like what I wanted.
Mhm.
And I was good at other things. And so I was like, well, I'm going to lean into the thing that actually makes me some money.
Yeah.
And that's when I got into like corporate sales and all of that. But when I owned my Pilates studio, so yeah, I also owned a Pilates and yoga studio for 9 years, and I did all the things that like you do wrong when you open up a business when you're
Mhm.
27 years old, and I just like copied what everybody else was doing, and realized 5 years into my business when I'm in the hospital with viral meningitis that my immune system was so low because I was so stressed about keeping my head above water in this business. And even though my business was successful and clients were flooding into the studio, it was just never enough to like get ahead. I was always stressed about making payroll,
Mhm.
paying myself, covering my rent. And I mean, we're talking months where I had tens of thousands of dollars of cash coming in. But what I realized when I was forced to pause and I was forced to be on bed rest, I was like, why is this so stressful?
Yeah.
And when I did the math, the prices that I was charging at my studio were the math wasn't mathing. It was just like
Mhm.
it didn't matter how many clients were coming in.
Mhm.
I was not charging enough to ever get ahead. And I realized that I had to completely overhaul my pricing, which I did. And when I did, it just transformed my business.
Yeah.
And then at 36, I sold my studio for 40 times my original investment, which was like
Amaze balls.
crazy. Right. So, but yeah, I was sick. I had two babies under the age of two. My youngest was 6 months old, and I was in the hospital, and I was completely just, I mean, I was viral meningitis is no joke. I was
Yes.
really, really sick.
Mhm.
And it was because my immune system was so low because I was so stressed, and a common cold that my kids brought home from daycare,
Yep.
I contracted, but my body couldn't fight it. And so it crossed the blood-brain barrier. And that is how you get viral meningitis.
Mhm. Yeah, it's no joke. My youngest actually had viral meningitis when he went into preschool. He got it, and it was horrible because you
Mm.
know that there's that spinal tap where the needle is
Yes.
like I'm going to say 14,000 feet long, but it's really
Mhm.
more like 5 or 6. But
Yeah.
still going into your spine, and I had to
Yeah.
watch my little preschooler with oh, it was horrible. So yeah,
Yeah.
that is no joke, and the fact that you were able to overcome it and that you tied that to the exhaustion and the burnout and the overgiving and the overextending
Yeah.
yourself was definitely a wake up moment, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I really also looked at, the saying, the show must go on. I know that you're a performer, you're a singer, and so
Right.
you've been in showbiz. I know that you know
Yeah.
how it goes. It was like, I remember dancing on point in with broken toes. And
Right.
it was just like, that's what you did. And then like the show must go
Mhm.
on. And so you're on stage and like you can tell what you're doing to your vocal cords is damaging. But the show must go on, or you're in 10 out of 12s and the 10 out of 12s are turning into like 16 out of 12s, and you're there overnight. You know what that's like, and your
I
body
do.
is just worn down, but you have to put on the show. And so
Wow. I
you
just
like,
had like the biggest aha. Go ahead, finish
but
this. My
I
brain is
think this is
exploding.
why theater professionals, those of us who were performers, are such high achievers and overachievers. And we're just like, go, 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 go. And we're relentless with ourselves. And it's because we were conditioned that way in theater, which also there are so many great things about being in theater that, like, if I wasn't in theater, I would not be as successful in business as I am today. Like, those life
Yeah.
skills are just some of the best, but also they run you down. And it's
Gee.
like learning how to say, you know what? The show doesn't always go on, and it is
Mhm.
okay for you to like close the curtain and cancel the show.
Geez, like literally, and I know we talked about this when we were together in Florida, but for some reason, I don't think I heard it the way that you said it just now. That is exactly my story. Like, I
Yeah.
was thinking on the lines of creatives, I think in a lot of ways make the best entrepreneurs and business owners,
Hmm.
but that is also almost like our Achilles heel because of all the things you just said. And I have a lot of things that I can equate my
Right.
overachieving and all of that to, but I had never really considered that the theater background and the modeling background and all of
All of
that
it.
definitely.
I mean, how many times
Whoa.
I was never a model, you were, but like how many times did you get on stage? Did you have to do a show and you were sick,
Yeah.
but you had to look a certain way? The
Mhm.
show must go on. And so you did it, even though you probably had like 103 fever and
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, how many times did
Wow.
we sing, get on stage and sing when we're
Mhm.
like, you know what? I feel something. I know I can push through it technically, but this is damaging to my vocal cords.
Yeah.
I
Or
have the
sitting
tricks.
as a model, sticking your feet in shoes that match the outfits, but that are too small and
Yeah, I
having to
mean,
get on
well,
stage. So
I
that to me is like a direct correlation
yeah,
to for women in general,
yeah,
fitting ourselves into other people's boxes and shrinking
yeah.
ourselves to be accepted. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I never had to do that because I wasn't modeling, but I did
yeah,
put my foot in point shoes
point
with
shoes.
broken toes.
That'll break your damn toes.
I know.
You know what's funny is that I stopped. We have so much in common. It's crazy because I did the ballet, gymnastics,
Uh-huh.
all that when I was younger. But then at a certain point, my mom couldn't afford to send me anymore. But I still had my toe shoes and I had all these things. Speaking of fitting yourself into other people's boxes or wearing shoes that are too small, I was so obsessed with the idea of being a ballerina that as I grew, I was still stuffing my feet into those
Yeah,
shoes.
I know, but
Painful.
it's the show must go on.
The
And
show
that is
must go
what,
on.
and I feel like that's one of the hardest things to break. It's one of the
Mhm.
things that I'm so thankful for because, like, when I look at my parents, they were theater professionals. My mom still is. My dad passed 4 years ago, but he was like at the top of his game. He was the technical director for the Public Theater in New York and
Wow.
New York Shakespeare Festival. And like when I talk about people who set the bar high for like what you're able to do and achieve and hardworking, like theater professionals are at the
Yeah.
top, and it's the show must go on. But then it's also, like we've said, it's also very unhealthy sometimes. And you
Agreed.
have and you have to learn when it's time to end the show.
Well, and you also get used to a certain level of abuse in the creative spaces in
Yeah.
artistry in general, right? This conversation is
Yeah.
sparking so much for
I
me.
know.
So I want to bring it around to self-worth as it relates to pricing,
Yeah, I
right?
love it.
Right? Because it
Good
is all
transition.
it's all related. And so the theater piece that built us up to be these, great work integrity, or sorry, work ethic and integrity and like, tenacity and grit as far as the show must go on. But at the same time, simultaneously,
Not getting paid.
not getting paid what we're worth, not
Right.
feeling worthy, always
Right.
being in a space of having to compete and prove our worth.
Yep.
So tell me then for yourself, how did
Yeah.
you start to unravel some of those narratives and turn this into your superpower essentially?
Yeah, I remember I was working in New York. I was an intern on the Seagull. This was in oh my God, what year did this is so bad. What year did 9/11 happen? 2001? Yeah.
Yes.
So I was in New York during the summer of 2001, and I was a stage management intern on the Seagull with New York Shakespeare Festival.
Wow.
And like Meryl Streep was in it, Kevin Kline, Philip Seymour Hoffman, John Goodman, Marcia Gay Harden, Natalie Portman, like all of these. Oh, who else was?
A-listers, big time.
Oh yeah, Christopher Walken. So like I'm working with these people every single day. And I just like had this moment of like looking at how much they were getting paid versus like what the rest of everybody else was getting paid. And I was an intern and I was making $120 a week in New York City and scraping by and like stressing out if I had enough to like take the subway back to my dad's apartment. And I just remember feeling like, and even looking at my dad, who was the freaking technical director for the public theater in New York Shakespeare Festival, and he was scraping by. Like
Mm.
he was like constantly like, I can't do this because I don't get paid until the. And I was just like, how is it that you have like the most sought after job
Prestige. Mm.
in technical theater
Yeah.
and you are living paycheck to paycheck?
Mhm.
And it was just, but then we have these A-list celebrities who are coming in and they're getting paid a ton to do the show. I don't know. I just had this moment and I like really, I really enjoy money. And I just decided that I wanted more. Like, I
Mhm.
didn't want my life to be living in New York, auditioning and auditioning and auditioning. And I remember I was a personal assistant at the time to Kevin Kline during the show. He like kind of he was like, "Can you here's money. Can you like get me my cappuccino with
You were
extra
an
foam?"
unofficial
Right.
assistant.
And my lemon bunt cake from Starbucks every morning on your way in. Like that was his exact order. And then I told him, like, oh, I'm a musical theater major. And he goes, would you mind arriving early and running lines with me? And I was like, sure. So I started running lines with him. And at one point, I was running lines with him and he stopped and he goes, man, I wish this other actress did it like you did it.
Uh,
And I remember thinking the other actress who he was mentioning is a celebrity. And she got this part because she was a celebrity and she has a name. But he was like, oh my God, I wish she would
yeah.
do it like you're doing it. But I was like this no name. And I
Mhm.
was like, this really sucks. Like I could be on that stage doing that part, but because I'm not an A-list celebrity, it was like, it was really this whole moment of like, I got to make a change. And after that summer, I returned to college. I was in the musical theater program for one more semester. And I was just like, I'm done.
Wow.
I'm done. It was so instant. It
Yeah.
was such an instant moment that I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I want
Mm.
something else. I didn't know what I wanted.
That part.
But
So
yeah,
tell me then, how did you navigate the I want something else, but not having the clarity on what that looks like? Because I think that a lot of my audience, they're high achievers, they're A-type, like super overachieving even, right?
Mhm.
And they're caught up in the cycle of perfection and the
Yep.
cycle of thriving on the validation and the fact that they're so good at what they do, even if it might be killing them.
Yeah.
And so, how do you, for the people listening,
Oof.
how do you know that you're like done with something? You're feeling unfulfilled, you're not feeling the joy
Yeah.
anymore, but don't know what's next. Like, how did you navigate that?
Yeah, so the moment was Christmas morning. After I finished the internship in New York, I went back to college. I did a semester again at my university for musical theater, came home for Christmas and we're opening up presents. and I opened up a gift for my mom, and it was the entire it was like CDs at the time, the entire CD collection from of Rodgers and Hammerstein. And I was just like,
Wow.
okay, and I put it down. Then I opened up the next gift, and it was some like I even forget what it was. Put that aside, but it was theater related, musical theater related.
Yes.
And then the final straw is I opened up a gift, and I unwrapped it, and it was my costume from when I played Cinderella in Into the Woods.
Oh, geez.
And I started bawling, crying, and they're like, "What? What? What?" And I just said, "I don't want to do theater anymore." And it was like brakes screeched. Christmas morning came to like stop. Everyone, it was like I was coming like out as like a circus performer or something,
Right.
in a family of doctors. It was like
Yeah.
that. So what did I do? I got on a plane the next semester and I moved to Switzerland.
Well, there you go.
There we go. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just like I got on a plane, I moved to Switzerland. My university, really cool, is a network of international campuses. And so you
Nice.
can transfer to any campus anywhere in the world and stay in your major. So I was like,
Mm.
I'm gonna move to Switzerland and I'm gonna like enroll in the classes at the Geneva campus. And I just traveled. It was me and my backpack. I went to 17 countries by myself. And I just started seeing like as I was going on these tours and as I was going like on these adventure, I was doing a lot of adventure stuff, that there were these like really small business owners who were like living their lives. Like they're
Mhm.
taking people canyoning in the Alps. They're like doing bike tours every single day along the Mediterranean. Like it was just everywhere that
Mind
I
blowing.
went. And I
Hmm.
was like, oh my God, you don't have to work for somebody else. Like you can work for yourself. You
Yeah.
could do what you love. Like these people, they are hiking every day. They're whitewater rafting every day. They're
Yeah.
paragliding every day, and they're getting paid to do it.
Yep.
And that's when a light bulb for me was like, okay, what is it that I want to do? And how
Wow.
can I monetize it?
I love that. And the two things that I hear when you tell that story is one, you just removed yourself from your current environment and your current circumstances. So you had the courage to say, I don't want that. I don't know what I do want, but I'm just going to disrupt the entire fucking program and just
Uh-huh.
go do something, put myself someplace I've never been. Right. So you
Yep.
were open. You were open to explore. You were open to new experiences and new people and new cultures. And you were curious
Yep.
as to like what was out there for you, right? So that
Yep.
was the first part. And then the second part of that I heard is that you were taking in the experience not from the perspective of a vacationer, right? But as the perspective of someone who's really seeking like what is my next step?
Yes.
And the universe showed up for you, right? And
Yeah.
and I know you're not as woo-woo as I am, but so I'm reframing this.
Woo.
Okay, okay.
Listen, I'm going to Egypt in a few weeks for
Uh-huh.
a past life remembrance retreat
Oh
as an
shit.
attendee, Miss Patrina.
A lot has changed since we spoke last. Okay. Because I'm like, oh, this might be a little woo-woo for her. But honestly, it's like you positioned yourself, you had the faith and the
Yeah,
courage to do that. And then the universe showed up for you. And it's like, here, you could do this, almost like with a new menu of possibilities.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
love it.
And what's so funny is like I remember thinking, I want to be these people. Like I want to
Yeah.
be the guy who is getting paid to canyon every day. I want to be, and here I am now owning a retreat business
Yes.
where I take people on these amazing, luxurious experiences all over the world and I get paid to do it. It's
Yeah.
like, it's not, listen, I'm not taking everybody hiking and canyoning, but
Right.
I'm like, I'm doing
But
it.
still, you're almost doing for them what you did for yourself, in
Yes.
some senses. And they may not be seeking something other than maybe the business tools that you're
Right.
providing them, the community also that you're providing them.
Yep.
By the way, I just do want to acknowledge and honor that amazing retreat company that you've built.
Oh,
I
thank you.
remember when I got on your launch call for the membership, and I believe it's changed names, right? Is it?
Oh yeah, it is now the Retreat Profit Society,
Society. Yeah, I think I
which
just saw that.
is under a trademark.
Yes,
So I
yes.
filed for the trademark and
Amazing.
yeah.
You're so smart. I think you just as a businesswoman, you're a fucking killer
Oh,
businesswoman.
thank you.
Amazing. And I just love witnessing and watching the things that you're doing. But being on that initial membership call, and I think I even said it on the call, I was like, this is like mind blowing. Like, this is so amazing what you've created because
Thank
you're
you.
not just creating a company for retreat leaders. You've got chefs, you've got the event planners, you've got
Everybody.
I mean, like literally brilliant. Probably
Thank
one of
you.
the most brilliant memberships, period, that I've seen, but
Oh,
specifically the retreat membership. So I just want to
thank
make
you.
sure I say that
That
publicly.
means a lot coming from you because you're like
Thank
the
you.
original retreat queen.
Well, yes, and there's a thing about being how do I want to say this? There's a thing about being maybe like ahead of the curve or an innovator in a lot of ways, the beginning of a trend, but then seeing someone like yourself. I don't know how long you did retreats before you launched your membership, but seeing someone like yourself come in and completely do it in a new way and
Yeah.
innovate something that's
Thank
so
you.
now is like
Aw.
nice. Yeah.
Thank you. I've been told that I have been a disruptor,
Yes.
which I am very cool with being a
Yes.
disruptor.
I call myself a disruptor of the status quo, but more like on
Perfect.
a soul level. So again, it makes sense because you're
Yeah.
definitely disrupting in that arena. And so, yeah, I want to honor you for that. I think that's
Thank you.
amazing. But I also wanted to talk to you about you have a quote in your book, and it said, when your prices are too low, you're choosing to work an additional 10, 20, 30 hours a week to generate the income you need to survive. And I just was like, wow, that's so
Mhm.
true. I've experienced it, not in jobs, because I've never actually had a corporate job. I've always been an entrepreneur, but even in your business, you
Yeah.
can be overworking in your business. So, with that said, talk to me about the tension
Hmm.
that you witness with your clients between premium versus affordable
Yeah.
pricing.
Yeah. So a couple of things. Um, where do I even, this like such a loaded question. I'm
That's a
like,
big
where,
question. I
yeah, I'm like,
know.
where do I even begin? Okay. So affordable for one
Yes,
is subjective.
exactly. True.
Okay, so
Totally.
it is completely subjective.
Hmm.
And what is affordable to one person is not affordable to another. And you will
Yeah.
never be quote unquote affordable to everyone.
Right.
But what you need to be is affordable to yourself, meaning you have to be able to afford the work that you're doing and be able to afford your life and
Mm.
the lifestyle that you want to have. So when you intentionally lower your price, it's not that you're lowering your price because that's what it is worth. The money is coming from somewhere, it's just coming out of your pocket.
Yes.
So if you know that you need to generate, just for simple math, $10,000 a month because that's what you need to live the life that you want, and you have the capacity for two clients, again, simple math, you
Right.
know that those clients have to pay you $5,000 per month each. Now, if
Mhm.
you say, I don't want to charge $5,000, that's too expensive. I only want to charge them 2,500. Okay. Those two clients now are only paying you $5,000 total. You either sacrifice $5,000 out of your own paycheck, out of
Mhm.
your own life, or you have to work now double to earn the remaining $5,000. And
Yeah.
so, anytime you lower your price or anytime you discount, understand that you are giving your own money and you are putting it in the pocket of your clients.
Yep.
You're paying them to work with you
Yes.
essentially.
Mhm.
And you are adding more time
Mhm.
to your clock in, clock out.
Mhm.
And nobody works more hours than entrepreneurs.
No.
Honestly, a 40
We work
hour,
in our sleep, dude. Seriously. I dream
right?
about business.
Yeah. A 40-hour work week sounds like a dream to most of us who own businesses, right?
Yeah, it's true. Wow. And I love how you speak so practically because there's this other side of it too, where that also starts to create resentment,
Yeah,
right? It
it does.
starts to eat away at your self-esteem because you're not charging and valuing your own worth.
Hmm.
And I feel like it starts to snowball into so many other areas of your
Yeah,
life when you do that. And I can speak from experience because I've done it,
yeah,
being that I started doing my retreats and stuff so long ago. I didn't have a guidebook. It wasn't, people doing it all over the place at that time.
right.
I had pivoted like you. I owned a salon spa and pivoted from being behind the chair because I'm like, I don't have enough like my time and my income. I've basically reached the
You
ceiling of what I
max,
can
right?
make behind the chair. And so it was all just like a big experience, but I did exactly what you said. I was not charging enough because, again, the affordability
Right.
misconception and ended up losing money countless time on
Mhm.
retreat after retreat after retreat. So, what happens then when someone owns and finally can reconcile their pricing, but then they're not able to connect with the market that's willing to pay their pricing?
They need to find a new market
Yeah.
because a lot of times what happens is if we start underpricing, we're
Mhm.
attracting a certain type of buyer.
Mhm.
And anytime you up level, there will be people who come with you for that up level, and there will be people who don't. But
Yeah.
you have to up level anyway, because when you up level, there will be other people to meet you at that level. And like in relationships, we grow and we
Yeah.
evolve and we change, and like
Yeah.
some of our friends are still friends and
Yeah.
some of our friends we haven't been connected with for years and we've outgrown each other, and that is
Mm.
normal. And
Mhm.
so it's the same with your clients. You
Mhm.
should outgrow your clients,
Right.
or your clients are going to outgrow you, one
Mhm.
or the other. And so you want to be the one to up level. You want to invite everybody with you to come on
Yeah.
that up level journey with you.
Yeah.
And those who don't or won't or can't, whatever, that's fine. There
Mhm.
will be others.
Mhm. Love them from afar, I say.
Right, exactly. And that's not to say that you're better than they are. It has nothing to do
No.
with that. It's just everybody is operating and functioning,
Mhm.
on different levels and different spheres and different universes on different pages, however you want to,
Yeah.
planes, vibrations, whatever you want to call it.
All of that. All of that.
All of it.
So then as we start to round out our time together, because I know me, and when I get talking with, juicy, yummy people, we could go all day long, but I want to actually go into your personal a little bit in
Yeah.
the sense of you're married, you have two kids, you have
Uh-huh.
all, these two businesses, you're
Yeah.
you're managing a lot. You're the typical overachieving A
Uh-huh.
type, like, woman that we're speaking about. And so, how do you do it all?
Oh, so I don't. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I outsource a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Uh-huh.
I also am married to a man who is an equal 50-50 partner, always has been. There's never been like I do this and he does. He's very much like an equal partner always. So
Love
like
it.
I've got that. But we've also put a lot of support systems in place to allow me to do this. As you know, my business grew. The first thing we did was we hired a housekeeper. And
Mm-hmm.
then as my business grew, we hired a personal chef to cook for our family because I suck at cooking. It's not my gift. Great at eating, not great at cooking. So we hired a personal chef to cook for us. Then, as my business grew even more, we hired a driver who picks up our kids from school and takes them to their activities. So we have these. This was actually the first thing I did back when I owned my studio, is we hired a laundry service.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's like the best. They pick up on Fridays, they wash, they fold, the whole thing, and they return it to the house the next day within 24 hours. I mean, why you would do your own laundry, I don't even know. So,
Yeah.
we've set up a lot of these systems, and it was
Mm-hmm.
gradual over time, and it was as my business grew, and now it's like I'm about to hop on a plane. I'm going to New York, and then Paris and then London. I'll be gone for 8 days,
Love
and
it.
nothing in my house skips a beat.
Yes. I love systems. I'm a systems girl. So you're speaking my
Mm.
language and revving me up.
Uh-huh.
And so, what I will say is maybe for those of you out there listening who, because it's really a perception, who perceive that you're not in a position to do those things
Right.
yet in regard to outsourcing. Well, for one, if you have children, you have in house help. So, that sounds terrible. Yours are too
Well,
young,
no,
but
no,
I've
no. Nope.
got good children.
Mine are not too young. They get $2 a day.
There
They
you
get
go.
$14 a week.
Yes.
And there is a very specific list of things that they're responsible for,
I love it.
including emptying the dishwasher.
Yeah. Yeah,
And if
but
they,
put your children to work, right? That's one
yeah.
of the things I think that people who are resourceful and they
Mm-hmm.
are determined and really focused, I mean, you figure it out. So you can put your kids to work. You can get interns. You can, I mean, there's just so many ways to
Yeah.
make it work, but the key there is to leverage your time and
Yes.
to outsource. I
And
love that.
the first time you do it, it's scary. Like I remember the first time I was like, we're paying for somebody to do our laundry. My husband
Yeah.
was like, that's such a waste of money. We can do it. Best freaking decision. That was
Mhm.
8 or 9 years ago. I haven't done laundry since. It was the best decision, and it cost like $50 a week, you
Yeah.
know? And I was like, okay, but that was a stretch at that
Mhm.
time. But then as the income, as my time expanded, and
Mhm.
I was able to invest more into creating and growing my business profits expanded, which then gave me a little bit more resources to then hire the chef.
Right.
That I remember, oof, I remember the judgment from
Yeah.
people on that
Uh-huh.
one. And then, it's just, uh, uh, it doesn't happen all at once.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely can scale up, but here's one of the things that was coming to me when you were speaking is that for those high achieving women, a lot of them are perfectionists. And what comes with that perfectionism is control. And
Yeah.
so did you have that struggle when you started to outsource? Like, well, if I outsource it, it's not going to get done right. If I
No,
want
no,
it
no, because
done.
I outsourced all the things I sucked at.
Oh, well,
So,
there, start there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I outsource laundry. I'm terrible at it. I ruin everything. I don't read the labels, and I've ruined more clothes in the wash, and I don't know
Yes.
how to fold. So I was like, anyone's going to do that better than me. Then it was our cleaning.
Yes.
Terrible cleaner.
Uh-huh.
Awful. Like I am the worst. You don't want
Uh-huh.
me cleaning anything. So anyone I hired was going to be better than I
Better
was.
than you.
And then when I came to the food, I don't even cook.
Funny.
So
Yeah.
like anyone, I think the key is to outsource the things that you really don't enjoy doing and you
Okay.
kind of
Yeah.
suck at
Yeah. Have you gotten to the point where you're starting to outsource some of the things you do excel at or maybe even
inside.
enjoy?
Inside my business, yes. So
Yeah.
I first started outsourcing in my personal life, which
Yes.
I think a lot of people do the reverse. They outsource first in their business and then they outsource in their home domestically. I
Yeah.
did it the other way.
That's probably the smarter way.
Ah, I don't know. I think it was just the survival way if I wanted to stay married.
Okay. Well, then there's that. Yes.
Yeah, there have been a lot of things that I have. Interestingly, those things that I outsourced that I was quote unquote really good at, turned out I wasn't as good at them as I thought I was because as soon as I gave it to somebody else, they were better at it than I was.
Yes. I think you literally just said that for me.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. Yeah. There's some things that I've been holding on to that I'm like, I really should have potentially have someone else do it. But I want my heartbeat. I want my voice. I want this. I want that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no. And then I realized, oh, that's how it's supposed to be done. Oh
Yes.
God, you're so much better at this than I suck at that. Why did I
Yeah.
ever think that I was the one to do that?
Wow. I'd be interested in knowing. And I'm like, oh, okay, one last question, right? It keeps going. But
What do I suck at?
no, I'd be interested to know how you handle the opportunities to be supported in your business, but not necessarily knowing how to utilize the support. Have you been in that position before? where somebody's showing up like, hey, I want to do this and I see this for your business and how you could
Yeah.
go to, but you weren't sure quite how to utilize it. How did you
Yeah, I
navigate
would
that?
say that it's probably my business manager Haley. Like
Yeah.
when she first was like a VA that was contracted through another company that I was working with, and I had very limited resources to hand somebody like admin tasks,
Hmm.
and I still felt very like in control. Like all I was doing was like tasking her with things to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I've had her now, maybe I think it's 4 years, and she has evolved and grown, and she now manages all of my businesses for me.
I love that.
And again, it was as things evolved, she evolved with me, but like she was actually very strategic in that she was like, so I have an idea. Just
Mm.
want to run this idea by you. And I was like, sure, what's the idea? And she told me, and I was like, that's brilliant. I love it. And she goes, great. I've already been doing it for the past 30 days. I've already tested it. This is what's happening. Da 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 da. It was like brilliant on her part because then I was like, why are you even telling me that this is what you're doing? And she's like, because it's your business. Maybe you should
Right.
know what I'm doing. I was like, if it's working, so I was able to like give over to her and like
Mm.
she proved to me and then I was that I could trust her.
Yes, I love that. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's good as gold. Like that's the tidbit for the whole freaking podcast interview right there. Because you can utilize it's utilizing what you already have in place and
Uh-huh.
potentially growing that, like identifying their strengths and their
Yeah.
level of commitment and excitement for your business and seeing how you can
Yeah.
create the most expansive and aligned partnerships. That's what I heard.
Yeah, and I think that it also just comes down to trusting people. Like
Trust.
I know like I want people to trust me. Like when you come to work with me, you can trust that I know what I'm doing and
Hmm.
I am going to help you. And so as much as I trust myself, I need to trust other people in
Yeah.
their zone of geniuses. Like what
Yeah.
good does it do if I hire Haley and I don't trust her to do what she's good at? So
Very.
you just have to like it's
Let
hard. You
go.
just have to like I trust I trust whatever it is that you decide, whatever it is that you put in place or bring to the table,
Hmm.
I'm going to trust you in it.
I
Like
love it.
trust first until they like tell you or
Hmm.
prove that they can't be trusted. But she
Yeah.
has done nothing but prove that she can be trusted. So I'm just like,
I love that. I'm going to
yeah.
actually take that into my business because I do have that philosophy in my personal life. I say trust until proven trustworthy, untrustworthy. But
Yeah.
I think in my business, I've held on a bit tight. So I'm going to transfer that belief and I'm excited about
Yay.
it. But I want to thank you so much. This has been
Thank
amazing. And as we're
you.
wrapping up here, is there anything like one little tidbit you'd like to share with the audience, as well as maybe how they can connect with you?
Yeah. My tidbit. I don't know that I have a tidbit. I think I again
We're given so many gems.
another loaded question. I just think that everything just comes down to a knowing and like you ultimately are the one who says I know without a doubt that this is going to be successful and
Hmm.
you have to like be unwavering in that knowing
Mm,
and if you have if you waver that's where it starts to get shaky. So just like
agree.
yeah, just be knowing, like, and unapologetic about it, and know without a shadow of a doubt that it's going to happen.
I love this. Yay! Oh, I love this. I love you. I love our time together. This has
Oh,
been so cool to reconnect in this way, especially. And we'll have to drop in more often. This was
well, and we're definitely going to have to be in person
yeah,
together again.
soon, soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you all for
Thank
joining us
you.
on another episode of Living Room Wisdom, where your story is your glory. We look forward to seeing you again next Wednesday, same time, same place. But until then, subscribe, follow on Instagram and YouTube, Living Room Wisdom and Patrina Wisdom, and we'll see you soon. Bye.